welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassidy and I talk about books, academia, and writing, my faith, and overall lifestyle content. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning to my channel, let me know in the comments. Just let me know that you're here. Today I'm going to give you some book recommendations, 6 books that just feel like spring. And so when I say that a book feels like spring, it falls into one of these 3. Category 1, books that are actually set in the spring season, in the months March to May, right? Those are the spring seasons. That's like the spring months. Category 2, books that have that feeling of what springtime offers, right? So springtime, I think of like when things are thawing out, when it's been really cold and winter and things are frozen, and spring is when things kind of thaw out, when things come out of hibernation. So I think of the feeling of emotional thawing, resetting, new beginnings, budding romances, and fresh starts. And so category 2 is all about that feeling that spring does, out of the cold and into the warm and into the new. And then category 3, these are books that convey just a feeling, like what spring literally feels like. These are going to be books that feel like flowers, a warm cup of tea, soft and slow mornings, cozy living, a Sunday day with a cool breeze, that feeling in the air when the sun is shining, but it's still a little bit of chill in the air, but the sun is out and the flowers are growing. Category 3 are books that kind of feel like that. Before we begin, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on some videos that come. Get cozy, get some tea, and we're gonna talk about 6 books that feel like spring. If you're interested, just keep on watching. The first book that I'm going to talk about is the book that has triggered my tea obsession. This book is just, it feels like spring. I would categorize this book as category 3. While the actual setting of this book is like the end of winter before spring, everything about this book just has that feeling of flowers and tea and warmth, and how that grumpy sunshine is like how the grumpy part of grumpy sunshine is how the winter still clings on, but you've got that sunshine trying to pull through. And so the tropes of this book is a grumpy sunshine, and the book is none other than But He's My Grumpy Neighbor by Anna Conwell. I absolutely love Anna Conwell books. Me and Anna Conwell books go like this. I have read so many of her books. I'm still getting through a lot of her earlier books, right? So I keep up with her most recent books. I've read her More Than a Game series. I'm starting her new series. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Rom-Com University Books. She just started this series. It's about like academia and like falling in love. But He's My Grumpy Neighbor is a part of the Carter Brothers series. And so But He's My Grumpy Neighbor is I think the first one of the Carter Brothers books, and there are 4 brothers, and the first book follows Grayson, our first Carter brother. He is just the grumpiest of grumps, and he has moved to this small town in order just to escape people. Like, he's tired of people bothering him, so he moves into this town where it's just literally nothing but old people, old retired people, and he's like, these people are gonna leave me alone. I want slow and cozy mornings. I want to do my thing, and I don't want anyone to bother me. The little grump. And who is his neighbor but Juliet, the just sunshine girl who just loves tea, who has like a golden retriever, and she's just this like joyful girl. She literally has an Etsy shop, and you know, the entire book feels just so much like spring. So there are neighbors in this community of cottages that surround this lake, right? And so I'm like, oh, how much spring feeling do you get of cottages on a lake? And both of them are obsessed with tea. They both have tea collections and are obsessed with tea. A lot of the book, it's literally physically cold outside, but just the feeling of just, oh, newness in the air of a warm cup of tea, of emotional thawing and falling in love. love. So the plot surrounds Grayson and Juliet learning how to be neighbors. Grayson does not let anyone in. He kind of has a lot of trauma just in regards to losing his mother, as most of the Carter brothers do. They lost their mother. It wasn't a young age, but it had really took a toll on the family. And so once his mother passed, Grayson just became a recluse and would not let anyone in. And so this book kind of follows Juliet and Grayson and their journey of just allowing people in again. Juliet has her own traumas of her family being kind of abusive to her. And so it's just them both learning to trust one another, falling in love and fighting that feeling and just that typical grumpy sunshine. So if you are interested in a closed door, no spice, cozy, it is so cozy. It is marketed as a cozy romance, and I can tell you it feels so cozy. This is the kind of book you want to curl up on your couch with a cup of tea and just watch and just read characters falling in love. Then this book is for you. Similarly, for Anna Conwell in the Carter Brothers series is But He's My Fake Fiance, and that follows, wait, did I get that wrong? Hold on, guys. So the main character in But He's My Grumpy Neighbor is Aiden, and But He's My Fake Fiance, the main character is his twin brother Grayson. Not me getting the twins mixed up, that's so crazy. But He's My Fake Fiance, I feel falls more into category 2, books that have what springtime offers, right? That emotional thawing, that resetting, new beginnings, budding romance, the fresh starts. So that book has more of that feeling of it. I think this book is physically set in the beginning of summer, possibly. I can't really remember. So, But He's My Fake Fiance, Grayson is the kind of complete opposite of Aiden. Grayson is like, I wouldn't say he's a golden retriever, but he's just kind of like the life of the party. He is just the guy that just brings the light into the room. And so our female protagonist, her name is Sloan. And so the premise of this book is Sloan's ex-boyfriend, she finds out her ex-boyfriend is engaged to her stepsister. Kind of gross, right? And so she has to kind of save face, right? And so she meets Grayson and they agree to be in a fake relationship, a fake fiance, right? So they fake as if they're engaged so she can save face with her family and with her ex-boyfriend. And Sloan and Grayson get into a fake relationship and the feelings quickly turn real. What about this book is about that emotional thawing that I love so much? Grayson is always this kind of flirty character. He's always got a smile on his face, but there's some really deep, dark stuff in him that he is dealing with, again, with some of the issues with his family that he never talks about. He just kind of shoves it inside and puts on a happy face, but then that causes a lot of anxiety in his life. And so it is him coming to terms with his mental health and actually learning to get help for his mental health. And it was just such a fun book that just is like learning to be okay and finding out how to live with your mental illness and getting through anxiety attacks, and Sloan learning to open up again and learning to love again after being hurt. And so I feel like this book has more of that, what springtime offers, that newness and that freshness of something new, fresh beginnings and new relationships in your life. And it was so fun. Woo! This is, again, all of the books that I will ever talk about on my channel will be closed door, no spice. And if it's anything like low spice or anything like that, I'll let you know. But I'll let you know always what you can expect. And this book, y'all, no spice and closed door, but it had me blushing. Sloan and Grayson's chemistry. Woo, it was off the freaking charts. And so that's what I love so much about Closed Door, because it's like you can still have that yearning. You can still have that feeling of falling in love, of just really finding someone wonderful and beautiful and attractive, loving their soul more than their body and being attracted to that, you know? And so that's what I love so much about No Spice books, and like it just delivers. This book made me blush so much in a way that was like not because of fleshly desires, just because it's like, oh my gosh, this guy loves this girl so much, and I'm like, that's what I want. So if you like that kind of book, then But He's My Fake Fiance by Anna Conwell is the book for you. Next book. Okay, the next book is Off the Wall by Julie Christensen. Y'all, I love this book. This book is part of an 8-part series of different Closed Door authors, right? It is 8 books, all different authors, all set within spring. So this book and all the books in the series, all the books fall into category 1. They are literally set in the springtime, right? It is designed for these books set in the months of spring. And so Off the Wall, I think, is book 5 or 6 out of 8. I did not read in order. I'm currently reading The Serendipity by Emma St. Clair. I'm also currently reading Petals and Plot Twists by Jenny Proctor. I have been obsessed with my girl Jenny. Since I'm reading both of those, I'm like, I can't give you a full review or just a few or a complete recommendation, but I did completely finish Off the Wall by Julie Christensen. Yeah! So this book is just full of whimsy, of light magical elements, and this book, along with all the books in the series, is set in a historic building. This book is about dating experiments, new possibilities, dreaming new dreams. She literally works at a tea shop. It's set in actual spring, and so it just feels it's set in spring, but it also feels like spring. And so Off the Wall follows Cash and Nori. I think Cash is new to the building, and he's an ex-baseball player, and he does not want to deal with anyone. He just wants to restart his life after, you know, I think he had an injury, and so he's kind of dealing with kind of the grief of losing out on a career that he really fell in love with, and is kind of just like wants to be left alone and move to the Serendipity. That's the historic building, the Serendipity. But Nori she works at a tea shop called the Serendipity Tea, right? That's so cute, right? It's a tea shop, Serendipity Tea, and she has dreams of owning a tea shop. I think specifically she wants to buy the Serendipity from the owner. Don't quote me on that, but I know she wants to own her own tea shop, and she gets a business loan, but that kind of fails, and so she agrees to work with this company to go on dating experiments, you know, in regard to money. Like being a part of the dating experiments, she's being filmed, and this is going to be filmed for everyone to see, so she can fall in love being a part of this experiment. She gets money to help pay off her business loan so that she can open up her tea shop. And so Nori a part of the conditions of the dating experiment, Nori cannot date anyone else outside of who she's been matched with. But when she meets Cash, just kind of sparks fly, and she's looking for the love of her life, and he wants absolutely nothing to do with love. And so it's just them kind of fighting their feelings for one another. And this book, again, y'all, book had me blushing, the pining, the freaking yearning. It just is one of those books that you are kicking your feet and laughing and just feeling so warm and cuddly. And so this book had so much yearning for one another, and it was just, the romance was romancing. So if that sounds like your type of vibe, Off the Wall by Julie Christensen is the one for you. So the next book is Not a Valentine Story by Camila Evergreen. So this book, y'all, this book is something else, I tell you. So this book follows Mirabelle and Damien. Mirabelle is a cleaner for this town. It's like a kind of small town where really wealthy clients like to vacation. That's where she lives, and she cleans their houses whenever they come in on vacation. And Damien is a billionaire who for years has vacationed at this place, and Mirabel has cleaned his home for like the past 4 years. And so the premise is Damien moves to that town permanently, and so he offers Mirabel the opportunity to work for him full-time as a cleaner, as a housekeeper. And so we find out very early in the book that, you know, he's like, and she's like, oh, why did he want me to clean his house full time? And so we find out that it's because he's been in love with her the past 4 years and he continuously tries to continue to go to vacation at this house to see her. And so he's like, okay, I think this is the girl I want to marry. I think I should move here so that I can get the chance to get to know her. I think a lot about Camilla Everdene's books is her characters are neurodivergent. And so Mirabel is a neurodivergent character. And so what Damien likes is like, he likes that Mirabel's brain functions like his. He sees something in her that he sees in himself of how their brains function. He's like, oh my goodness, this is someone who gets me. This is someone that I see myself being with. And he has been in love with her for years. And he's like, how can I get her as a neurodivergent girl to fall in love with me? And so it's just the journey of them falling in love. The trope is grumpy sunshine, but I really don't, I don't think Damien is a grump. Like, he is a billionaire, so he is in the spotlight all the time. And so he has constantly had to kind of shut off his feeling. He's in the limelight, he can't show his emotions, right? And so Mirabel constantly is like, what is this man feeling? Does he hate me? Is he hate me? And then we get to his POV and he's like, I'm so in love with this woman. It's so great. You know, something that she asks of him is like, can you just tell me what you're actually feeling? Because I'm reading your facial expressions and they confuse me because I don't really have that understanding of what your facial expressions mean. And so it's just her neurodivergence learning to be with this man, and him and his neurodivergence trying to give her what she needs, and them falling in love. So what about this book feels like spring? I think kind of falls into category 3, just kind of those little springy feeling type things. She is very whimsical. She wears aprons every single day just for fun. She wears flowers and flowery aprons, and she loves to clean, and she loves to cook, and she wears flowy skirts. And you know, again, that grumpy sunshine dynamic, I think it falls into all the categories. I'm not gonna lie. It's also a book about like running from love, and it's shy and sweet and a budding romance. It's things that feel hopeful and confusing and unsure, and the things that springtime offers and all those things. So it's a book that feels like all of these things. I do need to mention, while this is closed door, there are moments that feel kind of spicy. Again, the longing and yearning in this book is intense to the point where, if you don't want any spoilers, skip ahead a little bit. But for people who want to know the kind of content they're getting into, while it's technically closed door, this book tiptoed a line a little bit. So I will say, nothing more happens than a kiss. Like, not even a descriptive makeout scene or anything like that, just literally a kiss. However, it was that deep attraction and deep yearning to where Mirabel is thinking of sleeping with Damien. She had never been in a relationship before, and so she's considering if she should sleep with him. And so she makes a decision like, okay, yes, I'm gonna sleep with him. I'm going to give my body to him. It doesn't happen. The desire and the plan to do so was there, right? And so this was something that caught me off guard a little bit about this book, with it being coin closed door. So while nothing open door happens on the page, the leading up to almost happened. It didn't, but it almost. And so I did want to mention that in case that anyone is not okay with these kind of things of struggling to falling into like premarital sex or anything like that. And so again, nothing happens more than a kiss, but it does have that plan to do so, it just doesn't unfold that way. I do like this book. I just really enjoyed the characters. I loved getting to know these characters, but that is something I do want you to know going into this book. The next book is the only book that I have a physical copy of. The rest I just read on my Kindle. I have been very good about like not buying books lately. I've actually given a lot of books away, but this is my only physical copy. And the next book is My Lucky Charm by Courtney Walsh. This book falls under the category of category 1. It is set in the spring months, specifically in March, in St. Patrick's Day, if you could not tell. There's a trend in this book, and if you see that I like this, but this book is also Grumpy Sunshine. And this book is part of a trilogy of 3 sisters. This is the second one. The first is My Phony Valentine, and this is the second book. This follows the sister Eloise, and this is a Grumpy Sunshine. It follows Eloise and Grayson. And so this book starts off a few months before the book really starts, right? The prologue starts a few months before the book really starts, and on New Year's Day. And so the main characters, they share a kiss in a bar after Eloise's ex and her former boss comes into the bar. And so everyone's kissing on New Year's, and you know, she wants to save face. So she asks this stranger next to her if, you know, he would be willing to kiss her for New Year's so she can save face on her ex-boyfriend who cheated on her. And you know, he is sitting alone. He is a grump, but he hates cheaters. And so he kisses her, and then they never see each other again, except for a few months later when Eloise starts a new job at the Chicago Comets. Yes. The Chicago Comets is a hockey team where Grayson actually plays at. And so her last job went up in flames because she fell in love with someone she worked with. So she vowed she's not going to fall in love with someone she works with. But who other than Grayson is on the team? And he wants nothing to do with her. He lives and breathes hockey, and that's it. But the two, you know, they start to fall in love anyway. Again, that emotional thawing of Grayson is a true grumpy grump, and he definitely has an emotional thawing in this book. Yeah, and so that's kind of really all about this book. It's, you know, like set in March in the spring, and just kind of about that emotional thawing. But again, if you like hockey romances and you like Grumpy Sunshine, then this is the book for you. And so the last book that I recommend is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. So the rest of this series, I think Sarah Adams now writes open door scenes, but Practice Makes Perfect and When in Rome, I think, are the first 2 books in this series. Those are the only 2 that are still closed door. They are fade to black. And so again, there are still kind of mentions of deep longing and yearning in a way that at times can feel lustful. This book primarily is fade to black. We'll skip over all of the spicy scenes. But again, I will say with Sarah Adams' books, sometimes her books do feel more lusty rather than just longing and yearning, if that makes sense. So I do want you to keep that in mind if you are a closed door, no spice reader. It is fade to black, but it still kind of have those moments of giving into bodily urges rather than more emotional connection at times. Not the whole time, but just at times. So Practice Makes Perfect, I think, really falls into that category too. The books that have the feeling of what springtime's offer, that offers fresh starts, trying to restart your life, trying to forge a new identity. And I think both of these characters are trying to do that in different ways. And so this book follows Annie and Noah. So Noah is like this kind of like bad boy. He is known all over town as this bad boy. And Annie is like this heart of gold girl, like can do no wrong, perfect little princess of this town. She's like the town sweetheart, and everyone is kind of, I think, kind of just like obsessed with keeping her that way, keeping her innocent and sweet. And so Annie, as she's getting older, she wants to get out of that expectation. And Noah wants the opposite. You know, he wants people to just not see him as this like player, as this bad boy. He wants to be seen like a human being. And so, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Why do I keep getting these characters wrong? It's Annie and Will. Noah is from When in Rome. Will, I think, is a friend of Noah. So Will just no longer wants to be attached to that stereotype that he's this bad guy. He offers to help Annie give her dating lessons because Annie wants to be able to fall in love and find someone who she's compatible with, but she's in this small town and she knows everyone and she wants to be able to stand on her own. She knows everyone in her town, and so she overhears one of her dates that she was on that Annie was boring, and so she needs help. She's like, I want to find love and I need help. And so Will offers to help her and give her dating lessons. And so these dating lessons, the lines quickly become blurred and the two fall in love. That same old beautiful cute little story of just kind of these opposites falling in love and trying to come out of who people expect them to be and forging a new path and identity for themselves. And so if you're interested in that kind of book, this is for you. What also feels spring about this book, Annie literally owns a flower shop. And so again, this book just feels like flowers and softness in the air. And so if you're interested in that, this book is the book for you. So that is all the books that I have for you. I hope that you like them. If you're interested, let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you read any of these books, let me know. If you made it to the end of this video, send a flower emoji, right? We're feeling very spring. Send a flower or a tea emoji so that I know you made it to the end. And you know, I will see you guys next time in whatever this life and this new channel has to bring. I'll see you guys next time. I love you.